Guys, this came out just a few minutes ago, but Tom Pelissero tweeted out that the NFLPA has vetoed the revised emergency third quarterback rule that would have allowed teams to elevate a bona fide quarterback from the practice squad an unlimited number of times. So as this tweet gets cut off because Social News Deck's an absolute freaking joke, the rule will be reverted back to the 2023 version, which says the emergency third quarterback must be on the 53-man roster, not an elevation.
Why did I think that was already a done deal? Was it pending the NFLPA approval?
Well, they did it last year, but I guess the NFLPA had the right to veto it.
Why would they?
I guess they're wanting to push the NFL to expand
rosters. Well, but in the
which
meantime,
they should.
Yeah, but in the meantime, teams will suffer again.
Yeah, that
doesn't make sense.
No,
you're cutting off.
Maybe
your nose
they're trying to pressure them to get it done now,
well, they're not going to expand rosters now. That
you could expand one spot quickly, probably.
I don't even know if they could.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. But they need to expand rosters.
And that's going to happen.
Yeah,
I mean, the thinking is the preseason games, they'll probably go down to 2 preseason games, 18. Add the 18th game, and expand the rosters.
Double bye and expand the rosters.
Yes, that seems to be where we're going.
Here, at minimum, what I don't understand is you have 53 men on the roster, and only 45 can dress.
Yes.
What is the point of that?
I don't understand
them
it either.
Anyway.
I don't
Why
get
can't
it.
they all dress?
I don't get it.
Okay, real quick.
Yeah.
I don't usually like to do this, but I'm going to read a comment, or I just got a DM from one of our typical watchers who's usually pretty good on this and says the NFLPA wants these players to get active roster play. The emergency quarterback only got a practice squad salary.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well okay,
yeah,
then
that's bogus.
So if
it is bogus.
That's real,
Again, what are they pinching nickels for?
If that's real,
they're stacking billions of dollars of gold bars. Why are we pinching nickels?
I mean, how much is one NFL game check for a minimum salary player versus the practice squad?
Pennies, bull.
40,000?
Pennies for what we're talking about from what
absurd.
their profit margin
is.
is.
They be doing.
You know what?
They got head scratchers sometimes.
Oh my God.
So regardless
put
of
the NFL shield up in the dictionary for the definition of greed.
They're the worst.
That's it.
Regardless of that rule, it does put the Browns. I think they were going to keep 3 quarterbacks on the roster regardless.
Probably.
They are. Yeah, they are.
Now this essentially confirms the fact they are. DTR and Huntley both got legitimately extended play throughout this preseason. We got their side-by-side numbers, Steve, if you want to take 213 full here, but they both threw over 50 passes. DTR threw 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Huntley had the 3 touchdown passes in the second half against Seattle. DTR against Seattle had a 46-yard touchdown to Jamari Thrash. We've seen a good amount of both of these guys. G, I'll start with you. They both seem like NFL caliber quarterbacks. Who do you think the Browns will keep as QB3? Who do you think they should if that answer is different?
Well, listen, I think this is an easy answer. I think DTR, he won that job outright. I thought coming into the the preseason, I thought it was going to be Huntley because he was a veteran. He just already played a little bit. I know people laugh and joke about the Pro Bowl thing, right? But he played for an AFC North team like he was a veteran. But to me, I thought DTR showed way more upside. I thought DTR showed his improved passing ability. And for some reason, he just comes in a game and he elevates things, right? He makes plays off platform. He got a nice arm. I like his youth. He's not that old, but he's played a lot of football in college. I thought he came back and really took that position. The question is, what do they do with Huntley? I don't think he makes it on the practice squad.
They trade him.
Yeah, he's on the trade block.
Andrew Berry has he's a shrewd GM. He signed Cade York, and with the sole intent, everybody knew he wasn't going to kick for the Browns. They were going to showcase him in the preseason. He made a 55-yarder, I think.
Yeah.
And what did he do? He took a guy who was available for anybody off the streets and turned him into a 7th-round draft pick because he traded him to Washington for a 7th-round pick. Same thing's going to happen to Huntley. He's played well. He's proven that he can play at the NFL in and it may be an offense that looks slightly different than what he was running in Baltimore. And he's not going to have to cut him. I think he's going to trade him. Someone's going to give up a 7th for him. And if not, then no harm, no foul. It didn't cost you anything.
Right.
But I think there's no way they were going to not carry DTR.
Yeah.
I would go so far as to say I think DTR is QB2. And Jameis Winston should be QB3.
I don't think that's going to be the case.
I don't think it is either, but If you exposed DTR to the practice squad
Yeah.
or Jameis Winston, which one do you think is going to be in more demand around the league?
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's fair.
No,
Because,
I know, but
but
which one do you think is?
I don't know that either would be, frankly, in much demand.
No, I didn't say that either one would. But if I see DTR on the list, I'm like, oh hell.
I think
DTR's got more football in him than he's played.
Sure.
And I think Jameis
sorry.
Winston has played more football than he has left in him.
Sure, but listen, last year we were all pissed off they traded Josh Dobbs because they didn't have a veteran backup. So it's good that they have a veteran backup this year in Jameis, who's played a ton of games in the league.
And
DTR is like.
I just think DTR is. I think he's better.
I think
I don't think he's better than Jameis.
No, I don't
Okay.
think. I think Jameis Winston is a dude that if Jameis Winston started and he played all 17 games, I think Jameis Winston could throw for 4,000 yards.
He has. He's thrown for 5,000 yards.
He
hasn't
stay
he?
healthy.
He's thrown 30 touchdowns. Now, he throws 30 picks. But
yeah, right. He threw for 5,000 yards.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Can
he
he
did.
stay healthy?
So, I guess.
I mean,
don't know. The bottom line is they are keeping DTR. I don't know that DTR is ever going to be a starting quarterback in the league. I think he's a
I
backup
thought he made some
quarterback.
really nice throws.
The guy is so frail. I'm worried. Look how thin
Thin.
he is. Like, I'm worried about him staying
scares
healthy
me
if
too,
he
boy.
plays. But he showed you, forget the preseason, he showed you enough when he played last year in the
Yeah.
regular season
Yeah.
that you're not going to just, not for Tyler Huntley,
No.
So, yeah, I mean, if they can get something for Tyler Huntley, they can. If not, you
He's
cut
one
him.
of them.
cut him.
He's one of them dudes, man. It's just like, I don't know. You just turn it. I've seen him play with guys like this all the time. It don't look like it seemed like it's much. But when he get on the field, he a little faster than you thought. He throw the
Talking
ball.
about DTR,
Yeah,
Huntley?
DTR.
Oh, yeah.
Throw the ball a little better than you thought.
I like him. There's no way I'm exposing him
No,
to
they're not.
the practice
They're not.
squad.
He got a little leadership to him too. Like
Now, the only thing, let me throw this at you. The only thing that could I wouldn't surprise me, but I'll throw this. I think this is not likely, but if some team, say, offered the Browns a 4th-round pick for DTR.
Well, that was a question I wanted to ask you.
No,
because
that changes.
Yeah,
that changes things.
Last-
you could get
week-
now, I don't know that any team would do that, but if you did, then you'd probably trade him.
all right, DTR, man, I love what you was
Yeah.
doing here, bro. I wish you the best of luck.
We had a good time. It was a short time, but we had a good time.
Or you can get another position in need, like maybe a
I don't
lineman
think
or
they'd get a
something.
4th-round pick.
Well,
for
I
doubt
wanted
it,
to
but-
ask you guys that because Zach Jackson put out the article last week that the Browns were at least listening to offers for DTR in case
Yeah.
the team wanted to make the case. He was just saying the value for DTR is higher than Huntley. So from a Browns standpoint, and maybe it is a 4th-round pick, if it is, by all means, that's the answer. What would you have to get in return for DTR for you to say, okay, thanks, this has been awesome, but
I'd think about
I
a
can't
5th-round pick.
Even a 5th, like a 4 or a 5. Because look, just be honest, the difference between what Huntley is going to do with some practice reps during the week game planning is not going to be that much difference between what DTR do. So if I get me a 4 or 5, I'm like, man, I could package that with something and get me something else, bro. Like, especially if you're going to play Jameis Winston, I would think about 4 definitely. 4 is I'll pack his bag and call the Uber. But for 5th, all right, it's cool. But
I think I'd take a 5th, too.
Yeah, 5th
I
is,
think I would.
I would.
yeah.
I mean, that's a legitimate pick, unlike a 7th-round pick.
7th
Yeah.
doesn't do much
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
5th can make the
does-
5th can make the roster.
The difference between, like, I understand they went to 5 quarterbacks last year, but the difference in the end between DTR and Tyler Huntley is
Negligible.
probably not
What
that
was
much.
Where was DTR drafted? 6th?
no, he's a 5th-round pick.
Yeah.
I think the
5th round.
140th overall.
So
I'll
you'd
double
basically
check.
be getting a mulligan if you got a 5th
I
round.
don't.
I don't like that, Dan.
Yeah.
I want to be coming up.
You could upgrade it to a 4. We would talk.
Give me the 4.
Yeah,
I'm
he
gonna
was
keep
a
get an
5th-round
offensive lineman for him.
pick. 5th-round pick.
You know, there are some teams with real quarterback issues. The Raiders. I think the Steelers have real quarterback issues.
Yeah.
I don't know who it's going to be.
Yeah, I don't know.
When was the last time you could say that about? Well, maybe last year.
You know what? I'm done counting them out because I count them out every year and they always are competitive. And
Yeah, but
I don't know. The Raiders quarterback situation is ugly.
Oh, it's
my
terrible.
God! I was listening.
Denver's going to go with Bo Nix.
Yeah. I was listening yesterday. I listen because I'm that kind of nerd. I listen to fantasy football radio on Sirius XM sometimes.
Ooh.
And I'm listening.
That's why he wins the league.
Yeah. They were interviewing some guy who's like does a Raiders podcast.
Yeah.
This guy, you would think the Raiders are going to be the 85 Bears, the way this guy was talking.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. I don't know your name. I wish I knew the guy's name. He was like, the Raiders have 2 great quarterbacks. I'm like, What?
They don't have one
They,
great
he goes,
quarterback.
they have 2 quarterbacks who have proven it in this league. Aiden O'Connell played like 3 games.
and was terrible.
Proven
And
it
Gardner
in the
Minshew
league.
had moments.
He's fine.
But he's still Gardner Minshew.
Gardner Minshew is the new Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, you're right.
He's good if you have to start him for like 6 weeks. He plays well.
And then you see
he
his
becomes
true
a
colors.
pumpkin again.
Yeah, a pumpkin at midnight. Yeah, he had some moments against the Browns last year.
Elite
Man,
backup.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good starter for a couple of weeks.
but if you
That's-
need him
that's
for
it.
10 games, you're in trouble.
You're not winning You're not going to the playoffs with him, and if you somehow do, you're not winning any playoff games
No.
with him.
He's the white version of Jacoby Brissett.
Could be.
He's Wacoby Brissett.
Wow, that is
Kobe.
Jacoby Brissett.
Oh, my
That's
goodness.
crazy.
All right, did we exhaust that topic, Mikey?
Yeah, I think we did.